It did not start like a traditional K-pop moment, an O teaser photo, an O comeback countdown, an O member selfie warning the fandom to stay tuned. It began in silence, in a corporate boardroom, not a concert hall, but a strategic announcement from HYBE, quietly acknowledged in a TikTok internal alignment briefing, naming the core artists who will directly influence the platform's 2025 Global Music Acceleration Framework, the system that will determine how new sounds, trends, and immersive music experiences will spread across the world in the next era. Only one Gen 3 artist was on that list, Park Jimin, not representing BTS nostalgia, not as a symbolic alumni, but as a relevant, active, strategically invaluable creative force right now. And it wasn't framed as Jimin participating. It was framed as Jimin leading a cultural direction. That subtle choice of positioning was enough to change the energy in the industry. Not loud, not viral, but heavy with meaning. Because whether fans knew it yet or not, the global entertainment industry had just quietly answered a question it had never officially dared to answer before. Who is the one irreplaceable artist from the third generation of K-pop? Not because of legacy, but because of futuristic creative value, they answered with Jimin. The moment this decision circulated, first through corporate innovation analysts, then through global music data firms, there was a shift. People who have never streamed like crazy. People who do not attend concerts. People who analyze behavior, not fandom, suddenly had Jimin's name in their strategic decks. IT wasn't about, can Jimin get views? It was about, why does human behavior shift when he moves? This wasn't about content. IT was about conductivity. He was being treated not like an idol, but like a signal. Executives didn't say he is popular. They said, when he acts, culture responds. And that is where the fear and respect began. BTS as a group is untouchable. That is not in question. But the global AI-accelerated, fan-interactive, behavior-driven music economy of 2025 is not looking for just fame or seniority. IT is looking for command over emotional response, and no one on earth in modern music has created that emotional synchrony. The kind that spreads like an invisible wave and converts passive viewers into believers. The way Jimin does. TikTok isn't studying choreography. They're studying response velocity. HYBE isn't betting on nostalgia. They are betting on the future of invisible human persuasion. And the data is brutal. You cannot fake what Jimin naturally does to human attention. He is the quietest disruptor in modern entertainment, a paradox that tech platforms cannot replicate, only align with. And so, they did. People misunderstand Jimin. They think virality is what makes him powerful. They are wrong. Virality is temporary. Gravity is inevitable. With Jimin, people do not react. They gravitate, whether they plan to or not, whether they even understand why or not. That is why his presence needs no announcement. He does not hype. He shifts. The world moves toward him, instinctively, not artificially, and global tech platforms, especially those designing the next wave of behavior AI, have realized there is one artist who does not just trend in culture, he trends through the human psyche. That is not a fan phenomenon. That is a neurological effect. ARMY noticed first, not through a press release, not through a headline, they noticed it through silence, through how stillness suddenly felt electric. Jimin didn't post anything, and yet, thousands felt something to AS if he was circulating in the air before he even moved. That's not fandom instinct. That's cultural conditioning. The world has been so psychologically trained by the imprint of his movement that even his absence feels like pressure building quietly underground. And that is why this article exists, because we have reached the point where Jimin is no longer just participating in culture or even leading. He is dictating its emotional language. Make no mistake, this decision was not made because TikTok or HYBE needed Jimin for clout. They could work with anyone, that IT was made because no one else does what he does. Other artists compete with him on charts, but none compete with him in emotional frequency control. Industry veterans, privately, have said it more than once. You don't fight against Park Jimin. You learn how to survive in a world influenced by him. TikTok is not recruiting him. They are aligning their platform with the natural gravity he already possesses. That is not strategy. That is surrender. The future of music is not loud. IT is adaptive, algorithmic, emotionally intelligent. What spreads will not be based on volume, but resonance. And in that future, emotion architects, not sound creators, will rule culture. That is why Jimin is at the center of HYBE x TikTok's 2025 strategy. He is not just an idol, he is a behavioral trigger point. Platforms will not push audiences toward Jimin. They will restructure themselves to flow more like him. That is the magnitude of what has just happened. The industry is burned out. Audiences are overstimulated. Pop has become too artificial. Virality feels more forced than ever. And then, there is Jimin, who does not chase noise, but creates silence that people willingly lean into. It is the opposite of algorithmic fatigue. It is restoration, grounding, human. He makes people feel something real again. Executives have said this privately. Not romantically, clinically, as a repeatable, observable, globally consistent effect. That is why this partnership is not promotion. It is preservation. This is where the shift becomes undeniable. They are not working with Jimin as a performer. They are consulting him as a creator of emotional architecture. This is bigger than K-pop, bigger than fandom, bigger than category. He is not just influencing culture anymore. He is shaping how culture reacts to itself. That is not influence. That is legacy in motion, alive, active, expanding. And so we return to the beginning. An O teaser, an O poster, an O live stream. Just a decision, so quiet, so controlled, so undeniably intentional, that it will be remembered not as a career achievement, but as the moment the global entertainment industry publicly admitted, Park Jimin is not trending. He is inevitable. This is not hype. This is not promotion. This is not comeback season. There is a point in every era where an artist stops living inside the industry, and instead, the industry begins revolving around them. For most idols, this never happens. For Jimin, it has now become reality. TikTok is not featuring him. HYBE is not promoting him. They are structurally adapting to his natural cultural velocity. This means Jimin is no longer positioned as entertainment. He is being positioned as infrastructure, meaning his emotional and aesthetic signature is being treated as a base operating system for how music will move, feel, and spread globally in the next era. It is no longer about putting him on a platform. It is about platforms quietly learning how to move more like him. And that is the highest form of respect an artist can receive, not applause, alignment. When a pop star fades, the industry replaces them. When a cultural architect rises, the industry standardizes them. That is what is happening here. Jimin is not simply succeeding inside the rules. He is rewriting the invisible emotional rules, and the world is quietly adjusting. Executives no longer ask, "Will people like this?" They now ask, "Will this emotionally behave like Park Jimin?" Sound, motion, pacing, breath. We are witnessing, in real time, the canonization of an active artist before his military era has even fully ended. This is extremely rare, borderline historic. The industry respects Jimin, but it also fears him. Not because he is competitive, but because he makes competition obsolete. You cannot out-strategize someone who does not chase. Only those who chase can be interrupted. Jimin does not chase trends. He generates gravity. A gravitational field cannot be competed with. It can only be surrendered to or drowned by. And that is why global platforms are not challenging his influence. They are future-proofing themselves by aligning with it. This is not collaboration. This is preemptive adaptation to cultural inevitability.